So you see something online, this sparkly new object that you want, right?
$93 a night at Caesar's Palace.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you get to check out and it's like, what, $300? Anything that the consumer has to buy, whether it's a concert ticket, whether it's a dietary supplement.
I was buying Hamilton tickets. They were $600. And when I go to check out and they're over $890 a ticket because of all the extra fees that it didn't tell me about. So frustrating.
I've done the same thing with a Paw Patrol event. The FTC came out and basically said, cut it out. It needs to be clear, conspicuous, all necessary fees. I think this has been long overdue. Bait and switch advertising.
Right.
It's bullshit.
Is this going to be before purchase or... As of May 12th, 2025, the FTC's junk fee rule bans misleading drip pricing by mandating upfront disclosure of total costs, including mandatory fees for live events and short-term lodging. That means if your ticket or stay looks cheap at first glance, but that price skyrockets during checkout, you need to listen to this episode. Hi, I am Emma Rainville. I'm here with compliance expert Ryan Poteet of Gordon Reese, and today we're going to break down how this is reshaping marketing for platforms like Ticketmaster, Airbnb, and hundreds of others. We'll dive into exactly what you now must show before checkout, plus how to audit your pricing displays and avoid penalties over $53,000 per violation. No more burying fees. Transparency is your new competitive advantage. And so what we're talking about today, Ryan, is going to be for live events, hotels.
I think this has been long overdue. Do you see something online, this sparkly new object that you want, right?
$93 a night at Caesar's Palace.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you get to check out and it's like, what, $300?
$300 a day for resort fees.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like...
Bullshit.
Well, yeah, because it's bait and switch advertising.
Right.
Like, it's bullshit, right? I mean, you lure all these people in and it's like, hey, I found this great deal. Think about how much time people bargain shop. And then you get there and it's like, are you kidding me? And honestly, I mean, I've done it. You get there and you're like, I don't have enough time to do this all over again.
Right.
And so people just eat it. And
or they don't know until they're checking out.
Well, yeah, and even if they do, it's just like, I don't have the time or the inclination.
My
to
favorite is when I was buying Hamilton tickets. Mm-hmm. I love Hamilton. And, like, they weren't cheap. They were $600, but they were, like, front, center, Bass Concert Hall in Austin. Like, I love Bass, by the way. I think it's a million times better than on Broadway. The acoustics in there are great. The music doesn't overpower the voice. Anyway, I'm so excited. And then I get to the very end when I go to check out and they're over $890 a ticket because of all the extra fees that it didn't tell me about. Meanwhile, like, I'm looking at the way the stage looks from the seats and going through and like playing with the different dates on what and times on how much money it is. So frustrating.
So I've done the same thing with a Paw Patrol event.
Paw Patrol. So you now know who Emma is and you now know who Ryan is.
I have two sons.
Yeah, I'm clearly more fun.
Very.
Yeah. Anyway.
No, but I mean, it's just frustrating because you get to the end and it's like...
Right. And then you've got more money. And so now you spent an hour looking into the best option. It's probably not the best option, but you don't have another hour because we're freaking busy people.
Exactly. No, so the FTC, and there's a lot of state statutes on this as well, but the FTC came out with a rulemaking and basically said, cut it out. You need to disclose.
So is this going to be before purchase or as long as they disclose before purchase, are they okay?
You need to, no, upfront.
Upfront. Beautiful. Ha, ha, ha,
right?
Ticketmaster.
Well, so it needs to be clear, conspicuous, upfront. Like, you can't bury this somewhere. And it's not just any fee. It's all necessary fees. So like taxes and all the stuff that the state taxes on at the end, that doesn't have to be.
You know what we need to do?
What?
We need to go find all the concerts, plays, hotels that we want to stay in. And then we need to have you write them strong letters about this so we get free stuff.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, but go ahead. Yeah. Sorry, my ADD fired.
No, but I mean, I think the takeaway from all of this is if there is a mandatory fee that you're charging, and so I'm thinking kind of in the D2C kind of e-commerce space, we love to charge people a bunch of fees that, or automatically add fees onto carts that have questionable significance.
I haven't worked with anybody who does it. I'm sure that's true. But I haven't ever worked with any event, like usually for events in our space anyway. Maybe just the people I work with are just better people. I don't know. But generally, if you see
Well,
your
it's products
ticket,
as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I said everybody, I mean, it's everyone. So it's not just hotels and concert venues. It's anyone. So if you charge fees to someone,
like
yeah, shipping, or
it has
there's
to
like
be on the front. So it has to
be
say
on the front.
$49.99 plus shipping.
So it's anything that the consumer has to pay to buy whatever they're buying, whether it's a concert ticket, whether it's a dietary supplement, anything that they absolutely have to buy. The second component of this is, if you are going to charge a fee, it actually has to confer a value. And one of the examples...
I can't just take money.
No. I mean, so this, like...
I don't think you understand our world.
Right. So there's,
kidding.
The shipping kind of protection fees. When you look at your terms and...
Shipping protection fees, I feel like I would never charge them, by the way. I think that it's the cost of doing business. And when you're trying to take your costs of being a business owner and put them on someone else, you don't know how to run a business. My perception. However, I do know people who do that, and the way that they figure out how much money should be added to each. This is actually very interesting. What's up? We interrupt this podcast to remind you to like and subscribe so that you can always be in the know of when Ryan and I drop a new episode of Marketing on Trial. Also, sign up at www.specialopspodcast.com for our Visionary Vault and get all of our freebies. I just learned about this, actually. What I've seen people do or heard of people doing, I've never seen anybody do this, is they take what it costs them to replace lost products throughout an entire year, and then they take the amount that they plan, let's say 10% they plan on growing that year, and they increase it by 10%, and then they divide that a dollar amount by the number of orders that they anticipate getting with the growth. And that's how, you end up with these 93-cent insurance fees on the product, which I feel like is, if you have all that data, is probably reasonable. I think defendable, is a better word for that.
Well, yeah.
That has a value. We cover lost products.
So if you're disclosing it, then yes. But the examples that I think of is it's like $9.99 shipping protection. It's like, well, you look at the website terms and the refund and exchange policy, and it's like,
it's nothing there.
You're going to refund this anyway. Like, if I don't get the product, why am I paying you another $10 just for you to make sure that it shows up at my door? What value is in that other than just driving up the price by $10? And I can argue the other side of it as well,
right.
But I mean, the point is, any fee that
Bake it into the cost of the product.
Exactly.
Don't add nonsense fees.
Exactly. If you're putting it in people's cart, that's going to be an issue. You want to make sure that they're affirmatively adding it to their cart. So It's their decision to add it.
Have you ever gone into Apple Pay and then the page said one price and then you see that the Apple Pay dollar amount is a different price?
I have it.
Oh, happens all the time. This is very interesting, actually. So it'll show me the page and it'll only have the cost. And then if I choose Apple Pay tells them where my address is. So they don't have to put shipping costs into the checkout page.
That's true.
And so when it goes into Apple, most people won't even notice because you have to actually click on something it is and just pop up. So let's say you're paying $39.99, you could end up paying $52 because your insurance, your shipping costs, your nonsense all gets baked into Apple Pay. And you'll see a lot of these nonsense products on Facebook, Instagram. You're scrolling through and you see, snap this to the back of your phone and you'll be able to see yourself when you're, it's actually one of the ones that did it to me, that's why. But they're churn and burns and they absolutely have that. So that's not going to be allowed anymore either. That's tricky.
Well, the shipping component, yes. Because you're never going to know at the offer stage, right? At the promotion stage, how much shipping is going to cost because it's going to be variable, right?
Right.
If your
but
business
it just should say plus shipping.
Yeah, plus shipping. You just need to disclose what is going to be added onto it. And then if there are mandatory fees that you are going to charge and it's, outside of the state imposed, taxes and whatever regulatory fees or whatever that gets automatically added, you need to make sure that that's included in the price up front. No bait and switch advertising. That's the point.
You're always saying that, Ryan. You're just a conversion killer.
Try not to be.
I'm just kidding. So let's talk about how to revise your language and make sure. So most of the people who are listening to this aren't doing tickets or hotels or whatever. Some people do have Airbnbs and whatnot. But for your average run-of-the-mill direct response e-commerce product, what is some of the wording you need to have to make sure that you're being compliant on this side?
So if you're running a sale, for instance, it was July 4th a couple weeks ago, you're running a July 4th sale, the price that you're advertising and all your promotional copy, it needs to include all the mandatory fees. So anything that you're going to be outside of shipping and handling and taxes and things like that, you need to disclose that. So if there is a shipping insurance or something that they have to pay to get this product, it needs to be disclosed.
Somebody charging for quality assurance on their products to their customers.
That would be one of those things
QA inspection.
It's like, please make sure that this is safe.
$14.95.
Oh, great. That's ridiculous.
It's a $300 product, but agreed, ridiculous.
Well, no, and I think a good example of this, I was buying a car that I found in California, and I really liked the car, got all the way through, and then we were talking about the price and all the stuff, and they were trying to say that, we've gone through and laser etched this car with all this stuff, and it's like, they wanted like $4,000 for it. I'm like, now immediately this is not a competitive offer anymore. So I've walked all the way through this. I've done the credit check. You've done the whole thing. And then you're like ready to sign on the dotted line. It's like, oh, well, sorry. It's going to be an additional $4,000. Like, granted.
After a credit check?
Oh, after a credit check. Like, I'm ready to sign on the deal.
I'd lose my mind.
And so that's.
I'd lose my mind.
So there are, and this was in California, and there are exemptions for car dealers, at least under California state law. But I mean, that's the type of crap that the FTC is focused on. Like, it needs to be disclosed on the front end, whether it's a dietary supplement. I'd say a car, but there are, auto dealers get certain exemptions for arguably not the wisest reasons, but anything that you're going to charge this consumer that they have to pay to get the product or service needs to be disclosed up front.
Amazing. I'm going to hit the checklist.
Let's do it.
Okay. So number 1, go through every customer touch point to verify the total price is prominent, including mandatory fees. Update advertising assets to feature total cost, not base price with hidden charges. Train your team. I say this almost every time. Train your team on new pricing language, compliance, especially sales design and development. And then set alerts for enforcement. Track FTC warning letters, state AG actions, and consumer litigation to make sure that you're staying compliant and up to date. Anything I missed, Ryan?
I think that's it.
All right. This is more than a rule. It's a call for transparent pricing and ticketing and accommodation industries, as well as direct response marketing and e-commerce. There's no tricks, no hidden fees, just honest consumer-first marketing. Audit your funnels, update copy, and prioritize upfront clarity or face regulatory issues and lost trust. Grab our free transparency fee toolkit at Visionary Vault on our website. If you're not signed up for the Visionary Vault, go to www.specialopspodcast.com and sign up. You've got free tons of shit in there. Courses, tools, checklists, stuff me and Ryan have done, stuff the Shockwave team's done, stuff I've done. So head over there and do that. We never try and sell you anything. Make sure you like and subscribe so that you can get notified whenever Ryan and I drop a new podcast. Do what I do. Save money. Listen to Ryan. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Emma.